Have you ever wondered what it's like to move to Australia legally and how difficult it is for the families that make the move? Let's take a look at a group of friends that have found each other here and the life that they've made here in Australia. Were you scared about moving to Australia?
Very scared. I had nightmares over it. I worried about it for years because we knew we were coming over here, and yeah, really scared. I couldn't sleep. I went to the doctor, and yeah, it was just terrifying. I didn't want to leave.
For the families that decide to make the move, there are many challenges and processes that most people don't even consider. Where did you come from and why did you move to Australia?
I'm from a town on the River Mersey. I say Liverpool to people here, but it's actually the other side of the River Mersey. It's an industrial town. There was high unemployment, high crime, very grotty place to grow up. I wouldn't say there were great opportunities to do anything. And my mum's brother, my uncle, emigrated to Australia when he was a boy and sent letters and postcards of this great life he was having. So I always knew I wanted to come to Australia. Once I was old enough and I had the money to come. So it was a plan from probably when I was 9 years old. I knew I lived in a really horrible place and wanted to get out.
We're from Christchurch in New Zealand, and we moved here for lifestyle, better weather, better upbringing for our kids.
Better opportunities, yeah. Work-wise.
The big thing for me was, it was at a time when a war broke out in Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia, and it was almost like the icing on the cake of a country that I felt like was going downhill. And so I didn't feel anymore that I wanted to raise children in Europe or anywhere near anything like that happening. So we both decided to apply to Australia.
Besides the basic technical portions of applying for citizenship, such as completing different documents and paying application fees, there are also the emotional and physical stresses that come along with relocating. What were some of the challenges and processes you faced while moving to Australia?
Because I was at home with a small child, I did all the form filling in, I did all the applying. For one, it's very expensive. People think that perhaps coming from England that we have a rite of passage or something to come here, but we don't. It's non-refundable. I think back then, which was like 12 years ago, it was £2,000, £2,000,
yeah.
Just £2,000 just to put in an application, and you know you're never going to get that back, and that could be rejected. And so it was getting all of the documentation, the information together, which is a real long process. It takes about a year, and that was short for us, wasn't it? We did it in a year. Some people we know it's taken 2 to 3 years.
Well, initially, for a family of 4, getting employment was our priority, which fortunately I picked up work within the first few weeks. And then getting the kids settled into early learning, childcare, kindergarten. And then getting somewhere to rent, and then obviously getting settled so that we can give it a good go with employment, with education, with our living accommodation. I think we did pretty well. We were lucky.
Lucky that you got a job quite quickly to Melbourne.
Definitely.
Don't want to go back. I consider myself to be Australian. My children are Australian. I think we live a very good life here. Plenty of opportunity where I grew up with none. No regrets at all. I'd love for my brother and his family to emigrate.
Would you ever move back?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen ever.
Yes.
I don't know.
Well, if she doesn't, I won't.
Never.